Hey everyone, it's Tony here with Nerds Never Sleep, and it's time to do another Kotobukiya Bishoujo unboxing and review. This time, I'm gonna go a little ways back into their horror line with one I've been hanging on to for a little while now. So, we're gonna go back to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. For those of you who go a little ways back on the channel, I did do the version 1 of Leatherface, and I really liked this one. So we're gonna continue with the trend, and we're gonna go with the version 2 of Leatherface, being dubbed the Chainsaw Dance version. So if you guys are familiar with the Chainsaw Massacre movies, this is kind of recreating the scene where Leatherface is kind of dancing in the road with the chainsaw, only there's some noticeable differences in this figure. The first thing, obviously, is that this is a female Leatherface, which goes with the Bishoujo, aka pretty girl statue line. And, with the female version comes boobs. So, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna unbox this one and compare it to the original Leatherface Bishoujo that I, again, really did like. So we're going to get right into it, and we're going to look at this box and then see what's inside. All right, so as you can see here, the front of the box, it has kind of like a plank, like a wooden plank kind of look to it. It's got a very decent sized window with just, again, kind of like some plank cutouts here, and it looks cool. It gives a nice little aesthetic to the box. We've got some of the amazing artwork, of course, on the front of what the statue is based off of. We've got the Kotobukiya Bishoujo, the Leatherface horror Bishoujo statue, Chainsaw Dance kind of written in blood from, of course, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Here on the side, we've got a very beautiful piece of artwork that the statue is going to be based off of. And on the other side, we have kind of a zoomed in look at what your statue is going to look like. Now here in the box, we have a couple of little highlights about the statue itself, a couple of little zoomed in up close shots at some assets, so to speak, that this statue is going to have. And here on the top, we have another kind of paneled window with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the top. So that's it for the box. Let's go ahead and take a look inside. All right, so now that we're zoomed out as always, I'm gonna go ahead and pop her out of the box. So right off the bat, we're going to see here that unlike, a lot of prize figures, things like that, this is already attached to the base. It's going to be one piece, and we'll take this covering plastic off right now. So she's going to have her pretty face. As you can see here, it's got what I believe is called the Pretty Woman mask or something like that. I think that's called the Pretty Woman mask. So it does have a second head, and we'll take a look at that in a second. But let's get down to the actual figure herself. So I'm going to grab her by the waist so I don't damage her. She does have some little protective foam in the back here to protect the back of her coat. So just some very simple stuff here to do. We've got some plastic to take out, and we can kind of wiggle that around. But what that's going to need is to remove her head, which is going to be a tricky thing because she does have a chainsaw right here. So what you have to do, and I'm going to suggest, is gripping it by the ends and just kind of wiggling and giving a tug. Now it will come right off. So the head popped right off. And now you can remove the plastic. So that's just kind of to keep everything kind of safe from rubbing and things like that. And again, she does have an extra head with the super creepy Pretty Woman mask. And I don't know if I'm going to display that right away with it or if I'm just going to go with the classic head. So we're going to start you guys off when we view it with the classic head. And as you can see, there is just a giant key, and the head will just kind of key right back on. So not too difficult, really. It's just the fact that this chainsaw is here and having to grip the head and pull it out. Makes it a little bit awkward, but all in all, man, she is really freaking pretty. I am digging this one. So, because I'm liking this one so much, even with the other creepy head, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to bring you in. Let's take a look at her with her regular face and her creepy face.
Posters of legends on every single wall. action figures standing tall, cosplay outfits ready for the con, inbox treasure never pawned. Every inch of space a tale to share, pixelated quests all filed with care. Dusty joysticks, a click, the combo strike, and the room's alive with the late night tide. It's times you that can't be, time source keys. Well, I'd never be wriggled on a right line. Oh, get lie, oh, get fine. It's in my room, filled shelves on mint condition figs in their box. Secured, dear. Let's unbox, reveal that rare gloss. Caffeine high, no sleep cramped. Nerds never sleep, we're always hyped. So awake, you're night. Arcade buttons clacking clear, retro console memories near. Streaming live with a sorry fans cheer, bonfire spawns that persevere. Nerds never sleep, we're always hyped into the night, our world alive. Unboxing now, that new release flair. Collector card spread, careful and fair. Anime posters, guardians on the wall. 100 series later, I've seen 'em all. Console stands old and new, playing every game. Pixel dreams and wireframe.
All right, so there was your up-close look at this very, very impressive Leatherface Bishoujo by Kotobukiya. And again, just like with the first one, I was pleasantly surprised with how much I actually did like this. The first one had a little bit more on the blood and gore side to it, most to do with just having blood all over the base and kind of all over her apron. This one is a pretty clean piece other than the chainsaw and the blood all over her hands. So they're definitely positioned in a much different pose, obviously, with different situations going on, but the vibe is still there. I think they absolutely nailed the design just going off the original artwork. 10 out of 10 on just nailing the artwork down. On as far as the scale and everything else, as far as the actual piece itself, when I gauge her against other ones in the horror line and things like that, and I'm just going to pick her up real quick and take another closer look, put her creepy head down here. I think the sculpt, again, is a 10 out of 10. This thing is an amazingly well sculpted piece. The details are really nice. It is kind of funny how they left her with the unbuckled bra, so to speak. It's very cosplay girl looking. But when I size her up against some of my favorite in the horror Bishoujo line, she isn't a 10 out of 10 by far when you size her up against the other ladies in this set. When you go against things like Edward Scissorhands and LaFreddy and the Jason ones, you know, and even the Ghostbusters Lucy, She's not quite as good as those. And I can't compare her to Pinhead because, spoiler alert, we still have to unbox her. That's coming up. But as a Bishoujo in general, she's a solid 8 out of 10, just like I believe I gave the original Leatherface. And sized up to these other Bishoujos as well, I think she is much cooler looking than the Michael Myers one, mostly because, again, with the option to have the swap out heads, you're able to give the character more of its character personality. And that was my biggest complaint with the Michael Myers, or the Michelle Myers one as I call it, is you had an optional kind of mask to lay down on the ground, but you didn't have a masked portrait to go with her. The Leatherfaces, the both of them, have the optional mask with the optional head. This one had the actual Leatherface mask, and this one has the Pretty Woman mask. So I think adding that to them and the little swap outs and the extra faces, things like that, puts these both above things like the Michael Myers one. So it definitely stands above that one, but still below things like Edward Scissorhands and stuff like that, that were just so intricate and detailed and phenomenal. And that's not to say there are not really good details in this, but again, without the chainsaw, you wouldn't really know who the heck this was. So the chainsaw, the extra head, adds to that character. Just like with the Michael Myers one, if you had looked at this without the extra pieces, you just see someone in a jumpsuit. For all we know, this could be Ripley from Aliens, you know. So having all those little extras does add a good bonus to it. I really, really do like this one, and it is hard to decide a favorite between the two Leatherfaces. I think it kind of depends on what you're looking for and what costume and what scene you're looking for. Honestly, my opinion, get them both. But as these are a little bit older, you of course are going to have to pay the aftermarket price. But if you do look around, you can find them for close to retail still. And that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed checking out another of our spooky season ladies with the incredible Kotobukiya Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface Chainsaw Dance. And that is a mouthful. So, if you did like this video, do me a solid. Click that like button, click the subscribe button, click that share button, spread the nerdiness. Follow on all the social medias. The links are down in the description below. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the Leatherface and which one of these two you liked better. And with that, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.